parting of the ways.
Right.
But it felt like this man had the audacity to fire me, and I got to go to Woj to defend my reputation so that word doesn't get out that I somehow did Russ wrong, because he's saying, as you pointed out, he said, I'm going to read the one paragraph, now with a possibility of a fourth trade in 4 years, the marketplace is telling the Lakers they must add additional value with Russell in any trade scenario. And even then, such a trade might require Russell to immediately move on from the new team via buyout. My belief is this type of transaction only serves to diminish Russell's value, and his best option is to stay with the Lakers and embrace the starting role and support from Darvin Ham. Well, yes, it is. I mean, clearly, not for you, not for LeBron, not for the organization, you could argue.
But for Russ's
sake, there's only one way to go here, and that is you're still going to be the starting point guard for the Lakers.
Right.
And you should be just fine to start the year. Now, it's up to you to live up.
Right.
But obviously, this felt like severe, supreme damage control from a Thad Foucher who's just saying, I'm going to distance myself from this because I tried, but who goes this public? Usually when there's a parting of the way with an agent, they want it very low-key and quiet.
Have you ever heard Thad Foucher speak? I've never heard him speak. I've never
either.
I
know his name, but
yes,
I don't see him. I can't visualize. In fact, I had to look him up last night. Oh, yeah, I remember that guy.
You get the Mark Bartersteins and you get all these other guys, prominent guys, and they saying this and they saying that. I've never heard him speak.
No.
For this man to speak in this manner, and it wasn't like, oh, I can't, this, yada, yada, yada. He was very controlled. He says, I believe that this will be 4 trades in 4 years. And then the Lakers are going to have to include additional compensation in order to move him. I believe this would do more damage to Russ than good. And because now we can't come to an agreement, because all the years past, Russ has listened to what I had to say. And I've accommodated him. When he wanted to move on from OKC, I went and I made it happen. When he wanted to move on from the Rockets, I made it happen. When he wanted to move on, and probably most agents would have told Russ, this is a bad situation for you, Russ. You think going home is a homecoming, but the Lakers are not like that. The Lakers, Laker Nation know basketball. They know winning basketball. They know great players. If you cannot give them, and he gave them exactly what he's been giving them, turnover, 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 but the triple-double masked it. Well, the Lakers like, nah, we can see right through that, bro. You jumping up in the air every night, spinning around with nowhere to go, and you turn the ball over. 65 straight games the exact same way. Boo, and don't shoot because you can't shoot. I believe the agent tried to prepare Russ for this. But, Skip, you know the thing that sometimes makes us great, it makes us most fallible. And Russ was unwilling to listen or to hear that. But the number one thing that I've talked to a lot of players around the league and a lot of prominent people around the NBA, the one thing that always keep coming up is accountability. Why won't Russ accept accountability for the way he played? He won't do it. It's Frank Vogel's fault. It was the role I had, except you played bad.
I thought he took shots. They were between the line shots at both LeBron and AD on his way out.
He absolutely did.
Okay. So now you have a fairly prominent agent here distancing himself, saying, I want no part of this mess going forward. And please don't blame me for this, because this is like a preemptive strike against a man who is blaming everybody out there except himself.
That's why I don't believe he got fired. I believe he took the initiative upon himself.
It could be.
Because you see, you just said it's a preemptive strike. Because you know what was coming. I will get blamed if it doesn't happen, or I go somewhere and I get bought out. I'm going to get blamed. So, no, you're not going to put this one on me.
So even I've been caught in the crossfire of late, because both Russ and his wife have been taking shots at me for shaming their family name by calling him Westbrook, which I've only been calling him since 2012, along with the rest of the world's been calling him that all year long. Last year, all he did was he was the worst three-point shooter statistically in the entire league. I didn't do that.
No.
I had no hand in that. Russ had complete hand in that.
We're going to talk about the rookie when they was playing this game.
Yeah.
Russ.
Yeah. Okay. So the point is, to your point, he led the league in turnovers per game much of the year until he sat the last 3 games. He would have earned that dishonor also. But now the point is, and the shock to me is, if Russ truly wants out of LA, and I'm not sure he does, but that's what the agent is saying.
Yes.
So I'm sure their conversations have headed in that direction. If Russ does want out, he just did more severe damage to his ability to get traded.
Right.
Because the Lakers were selling it pretty well that, no, we're very happy with him.
Yes.
And how many times did Darvin Ham say, don't sleep on how great this man is. Nobody plays harder. Nobody can do blah, 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 blah. And he detailed all the great things that Russ can do.
Right.
And we're onward and we are upward with Russ as our starting point guard. Well, that did serve to perhaps elevate some of his trade stock, some of it. And in this case, now that it's clear Russ wants out, we get to the buyout situation. Well, I'm here to tell you, there's one man in the world I'm pretty sure is not going to allow himself to be bought out by anybody, and that is Russell Westbrook. He is as proud and as delusional as any athlete I know going forward right now. So why would he say, sure, go ahead and trade me to, we're going to talk about these teams later, but there's been a lot of speculation about San Antonio, Utah. There's been speculation about Oklahoma City, some Sacramento that I've heard and read. And would one of these teams want Russ to play him for $47 million next year?
No.
Well, that's not the goal. The goal is to get him out.
Skip, why would I want Russ around my young players? To be stubborn, to have no accountability. I don't want him around De'Aaron Fox. I don't want him anywhere near those guys. So that's the problem that he has. He's so stuck in his ways. He's so stubborn. He's so bullheaded. They're saying, yes, we won't, because it's about the compensation. It's not about him. But do like John Wall. Skip, John Wall accepted a buyout. Got $13.5 million from the Clippers for 2 years. Okay, Russ, if you're that guy, and everybody wants to have it because all these NBA players, Russ is a top 75. He's a former MVP. All that's withstanding, no question about it. He accomplished all those things. Where is he right now? He's not that same player. He doesn't have the same athleticism. He's always been inefficient. So as you get, if you're inefficient as a 27, 30-year-old, how the hell do you get more efficient as you get older and your athleticism wanes, Skip? When Michael and Kobe, the athleticism, they couldn't levitate and stay in the air for 10 seconds. They developed that fadeaway. Russ, did you see Russ hitting the corner of the backboard on the fadeaway? Do you see him shooting air balls? So now.
And he used to be a decent free throw shooter, and now he was the fourth worst free throw shooter. He's under 70%.
So now, Skip, how as he becomes an older player, and he's not as athletic as he once was, he can't attack the rim, and when he does attack, man, now what?
Okay, so what good team, what contending team would want Russell Westbrook at $47 million? It's insane. Nobody's going to want that.
I buy him out, but I do get first-round draft picks. Okay. That's what I want.
Now we're down to Jeannie. Jeannie's pretty dug in on this. I'm not going to sacrifice my future when LeBron won't be part of my long-term future, because you're talking about 27 and 29. We're at 22. Right? Well, LeBron will be long, long gone by then. And Jeannie, I'm assuming, God willing, I'm going to knock on wood, will still be owning and operating the Lakers. She's looking at it like, why should I give up my